Greetings everybody. In this video, I'll be discussing the full moon in Cancer on January the 13th, 2025. Full moons in general bring matters that's been hidden to the surface. It's a time of testing relationships. Now, in this chart, it's on the 13th, but it will stay strong for the next 2 weeks, when we'll then have the next new moon. This full moon indicates a tremendous amount of focus and energies on relationships and on finances. Now, the full moon's in Cancer. Cancer is a cardinal sign. Opposite is the sun in Capricorn, a cardinal sign. And the other two cardinal signs of Libra and Aries will also be impacted. So the 4 signs are going to really be feeling this stress, but there wants to be this release. The full moon in Cancer, and then really intensified by the retrograde Mars, is going to really amplify mood swings, stirring deep reflections on your past actions, on past relationships, but can lead to a healing or a resolution. The reason being that the moon will be in a trine, which is the best flow of energy, to Neptune. And the moon will also be in a sextile, the second best flow of energy, to Uranus. So this very intense, moody, emotional full moon, bringing all those emotions out onto the surface. But the full moon has 2 positive releases. Now, to the Neptune is the planet of empathy, of healing, of being inspired. It also trigger a lot of creative inspiration. The moon also sextiling Uranus it's triggering a desire for change, to get out of the old stuck routine, and be open to more emotional breakthroughs and embracing a new perspective, new ideas. So the overall, from relationships and money, can bring a lot of intensity and matters to a culmination. But with the Neptune and the Uranus, it's an ideal opportunity for a lot of emotional breakthroughs, a lot of healing, a lot of new insights with your personal relationships and with money. So before I get more into the relationship side of it, and then we're going to be talking about money and how that's impacting the whole world. If you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right. All full moons will impact relationships to some degree because it's the moon opposite the sun. Happens once a month, every 4 weeks. When the sun and the moon are in opposition, it forms a full moon. The sun can represent the individual. In opposition or confrontation to the moon, that represents the public and the family or others, emotional connections with others. So that's why all full moons, to some degree, you got to look at the rest of the dynamics of that moment of the full moon. But it's going to test relationships. Now, Venus is the planet of love and relationships and marriage. Venus is that desire for union and connectedness. The Venus will be in Pisces, the best sign for Venus to express itself. Venus, see, Aries is the exalted sign for Venus. So that Venus, there's a strong desire in Pisces for unconditional love, to be so much more empathetic and compassionate. But this Venus is aligned with Saturn and squaring Jupiter. Now, Venus to Saturn is the restrictedness, the karmic lessons, and so Venus-Saturn for the next couple of weeks, for everybody around the world, you're going to be very concerned about your relationships. You might be worried about separations, but the Venus in Pisces and these outlets, especially to that healing, compassionate Neptune, that Venus in Pisces wants to really inspire you to work on your relationship. Now, the Venus is also squaring or in tension to expansive Jupiter. So the Venus-Jupiter is triggering a lot of optimism and hopefulness. It really wants to, the Jupiter is really expand all these Venus desires. But to the Saturn, there's work to be done. I will say, if you don't do the work, if you don't try to, take responsibility for any tension, separations in a relationship, it could go south. But that Venus in Pisces and this wonderful full moon is really motivating so much of you to recognize what needs work in your relationship, start working on it, and then you can have these big emotional breakthroughs. If you go into denial, if you go into avoidance, if you go into just blaming the other person and not taking any accountability, then this will all blow up. But for most of you, you will see opportunities because of the full moon to the Neptune, brings a lot of empathy and compassion. And also the full moon with the release to Uranus. Uranus wants new insights. It wants change. It wants to shake things up. So I would think very few people are going to stay stuck and rigid and refuse to take accountability. But the vast majority, where you see problems in personal relationships, this could also be, because I'm going to talk about finance next, also financial relationships. You may be realizing that with the personal relationships, that you have to really take responsibility. Or, like I said, it could all start to hit a wall. But you're going to see new insights, new perspective. You're really wanting to make the change. There's all this empathy. There's so much energy, but it's causing so much anxiousness and mood swings. But it's all pushing you towards more insight, accountability, and empathy. Venus is also a financial planet, by the way. The main reason for that, because Venus, most people think Venus is just love and beauty. Venus rules Libra, the sign Libra. Libra is the sign of relationships and marriage, cooperation and harmony. But Venus also rules Taurus, and Taurus needs security. It needs money. It's very material. And so Taurus is ruled by Venus. And this is why Venus is also associated with finances. Now, this Venus is in a hard angle. It's aligned with Saturn. So where I said earlier, you could be worrying, Saturn, about your personal relationships, but you could also be worrying about your finances with that Venus-Saturn. And the Venus is squaring Jupiter, bringing in that Saturn. Jupiter-Saturn square is triggering a lot of economic frustrations and worries, because Jupiter wants to expand and Saturn wants to contract. And often with Jupiter-Saturn, now this has been going on since into December. It's just being more triggered again to make us all look at it again with our economics, our job security, our financial securities, and then that Saturn with the Venus. Again, you could be really worried about your job, your financial security. But there's all this positive release. So if you take action, you just don't sit there and feel sorry for yourself, but you get out there and figure out how to make more money, get a better job, resolve your financial dilemmas. Any effort with all the energies of this full moon, you can also start resolving your financial issues. So therefore, many of you, as you're going to be healing and resolving relationship issues, the same goes with your business partnerships, any kind of financial contracts and financial responsibilities where you're starting to get worried. Don't just take action. And over these next 2 weeks, with the emotional breakthroughs and the new fresh perspective and the desire for shaking things up and moving into and getting out of the old stuck routine, not only can your personal life improve after all the nervousness, but your financial life can improve. But you're also being really motivated by the anxious, impatient Mars to take action. If you're not taking any action initially, something could be happening which could trigger this fear, this upset, this emotional anxiousness. In other words, a real kick in the butt that if you don't do something, this is really going to go south. But everything in the chart for this full moon on January the 13th is with any amount of effort and accountability, you're going to be able to figure out new ways of increasing your income as well as improving your personal relationships. So in summary, this is going to be an intensely emotional period, but it's helping to resolve old resentments and blocked energies financially. And so you just have to stay more alert, more aware, take accountability. It's going to be really stressful and intense, but the payoff for many of you will be amazing. There will be these amazing, insightful breakthroughs personally, and financially. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next time, be safe and well.